So there's been a lot of buzz around the investor community surrounding Alibaba stock. So in this video, what I was going to do is go through what I believe is the main reason why everyone is talking about Alibaba stock. So stay tuned. We're going to go through a brief video discussing why everyone is talking about Alibaba stock. So in March, the company announced a major organizational transformation, restructuring the Alibaba Group into 6 business groups and other investments. That's what I believe is causing all of the hype around Alibaba stock. We also announced the board of directors, CEOs of the 6 business groups, which was recommended and approved by the Alibaba board of directors. Alibaba believes that this transformation will empower all their businesses to become more agile, enhance decision making, enable faster responses to market changes, and promote innovation to capture opportunities, thereby unlocking shareholder value. Now, I don't know about all that. That seems like optimistic thinking on in my behalf. And if anything, I think this is going to create one of the things I think it's going to create is more redundancy. When you had Alibaba as one group, instead of being split into 6 groups, you had one CEO and one board of directors. Now splitting it into 6 groups, with each group having its own CEO, its own board of directors, those are a lot of very high paying jobs that now the companies need to pay for, where before you had it consolidated and fewer expenses. So that's one thing that's likely going to happen for a very high probability. All of the benefits, that's a little bit more uncertain. Although if you look at, let me show you this from its latest quarterly report for the quarter for the year ended March 31. You look at the company and it's got, 6 major segments here: China commerce, international commerce, local consumer services, Kniao, I hope I said that right, cloud, and then digital media and entertainment. These other parts are more corporate allocations, not really business segments. So it would make sense to split these up into 6 individual business groups. I understand that thinking of it, but I'm not thrilled about assigning each group a CEO and a board of directors, and those that's going to lead to more expenses, more costs, and I'm usually not a fan of creating more of these kinds of jobs. Board of directors, CEOs, CFOs, they get paid a lot of money. I'm not a fan of creating more of those jobs if I'm an investor in Alibaba. Although the one benefit I do see happening is Alibaba gaining more respect for the main business here, China commerce. You look at all of the 6 businesses, it's really one of them that's driving profitability, right? Look at adjusted EBITDA and look at how much adjusted EBITDA and revenue China commerce is generating. 582,000, and these are in RMB. So 582 billion in RMB with 182 billion in adjusted EBITDA for a 32% EBITDA margin, and way better than any other business segment. The only other segment that's even profitable is the cloud segment, but that generated only 1,422 EBITDA compared to 184,862 in this one. So and across the board, you could look at negative for international commerce, negative for local consumer services, negative for Kenya, negative for digital media and entertainment. So all these other businesses are really not driving profitability for the Alibaba group. So in a sense, it makes intuitive sense to split them up and highlight the power, the profit potential, and the cash flow potential of the main Alibaba business driver, right? The China commerce business segment. So moving on, they said they're going to plan to have a full listing of the Cloud Intelligence Group, which is one of those 6 groups that they highlighted. They're going to have a full public listing of that group. That group by itself is going to be its own public company. And this public listing in the next 12 months, it's going to be an independent company. The cloud intelligence business model, customer profile, and the stage of development are fundamentally different from the other consumer-focused business in the Alibaba ecosystem. Full independence will allow cloud intelligence to further sharpen its business strategy and optimize its operations and organization. That remains to be seen. So the benefits of this split remains to be seen, although the costs are apparent, what I highlighted earlier. More expenses for sure, because now you're going to need that whole new management team and group for each one of these segments. It'll be interesting to see how this develops, because the main Alibaba group is going to own percentages of all these spin-offs, right? It's going to spin these groups off and then retain an equity ownership of all those groups. So it's still going to be invested in those groups, and it's still going to experience the benefits and costs from those groups, although those groups are just going to stand by themselves. It's going to have a lot of implications. It's going to be confusing. It's going to be uncertain. It's going to take time. It's going to require a lot of regulatory approval. It's going to be messy. So those are things to look for over the next several months, perhaps over the next 12 to 18 months as this transition takes hold. Now, the benefits from this, that's a lot of uncertainty, I would say. I don't even want to speculate on the benefits because it's so uncertain, and it goes into a lot of financial engineering, the cost of capital, the differences in the cost of capital in the different groups. Those are all, financial engineering techniques which I don't want to get into the details of. Overall, if I was an investor in Alibaba Group, I would be not excited about this transition. I would not be thrilled about this change, about this decision to divest and transition into 6 business groups. All right, but that's all I've got for this video in what I believe is why everyone is talking about Alibaba Group, Alibaba stock. This transition, this change is a big deal, and understandably, people are talking about this move for Alibaba stock. All right, thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.